Hello everyone and welcome to another chapter of Instally's Flutter development course. So in this chapter we are particularly looking into how we can implement a bottom navigation bar in a Flutter application. So by the end of the video you will have a proper app with a bottom navigation bar that will allow you to switch between three pages or screens. So we are going to use three screens here, which will be home screen or home page, a profile screen and a settings screen. So let us head back to our app and see what we have progressed so far. So this was basically an app. So let me run the application and show you how it looks. So so in the previous chapters we have covered how to create a stateful widget, how to create a stateless widget, the difference between these two, how we can dynamically change the value of an image with a button press. So these were already covered in the last chapters. So if you haven't got a chance to look into the previous chapter, I will highly encourage you to watch those chapters first. So in this chapter obviously we are going to change these things, like we'll keep these things, but obviously we have to set our app so that we can have a proper bottom navigation bar. So to start with, or to have an initial setup, we are going to head back to main.dart. We are going to make some changes here. So initially what we did was we were directly passing a material app in run app. So as we progress further and make more changes in our app becomes more complex. We are going to need a proper class here instead of passing it directly here. So we are going to obviously right now we are keeping the class in the same file, but later on we will be having a app.dart as well, where we'll be keeping the my app section. So let me create the class first. So let me name it as my app, and we are going to create a stateless widget. I believe you know how a stateless widget works, or how a stateless widget has been like how to create a stateless widget. We have covered those in the previous chapters. So so these are the basic stuff of creating a stateless widget. So we are going to return a material widget here, or we are going to create a material app here. Not actions. What we're gonna require is we are going to require a title. So for this I will keep the name as Flutter bottom navigation bar demo, and we are going to need a theme as well. So let me create a theme data. Theme data where we'll be having a color scheme. From seed, and we are going to pass it as which color. Let me keep it as deep purple. Okay, this will work. And we are going to use a material theme as well, just to make the look similar to material app. Also we are going to need a home attribute here, but right now we haven't created the home page, so let's keep this as empty. Later on we will be putting the class name here. So let me keep this file like this. Obviously it will show you an error, but once we put the class name here, this will get fixed. So for this we need to create few screens. So inside live folder we are going to create another folder which will say screen, or let me say pages for better understanding. And inside pages we are going to have few files which will be main page.dart, where we'll be having the bottom navigation bar and few other screens like home page, be profile page, and another will be settings page. So now in the main page, what we are going to do is we are going to create a stateful widget. So let me just import the package here for Flutter. Flutter material. Now create the class. It will be a stateful widget. So I believe you know how to create a stateful widget now. So we are going to create the stateful widget. It's very similar to stateless widget, but there are certain things which we add here, which we have covered in the previous chapters. So if you are still not sure how to create a stateful widget, you can go to the previous chapter and see how to create a stateful widget. We have covered the basic differences between stateful widget and stateless widget and how to create them. And also we have shown you the exact scenario where we can use stateless widget, like the scenarios where we can use both stateful and stateless widget. So let me create the state as well. So obviously this is giving an error because I haven't created the state yet. So I will create this as main page state. It should be same. So let me create the widget here. So we are going to return a scaffold here. So we're going to have different attributes, but for now, okay, so let me create the bottom navigation here as well. So for creating a bottom navigation bar, what you have to do is you have to create a scaffold, and inside body, or let's keep the body part later. First we'll focus on creating the bottom navigation bar. So you can see an attribute called bottom navigation bar, which takes a widget called bottom navigation bar. So this is the basic bottom navigation bar which we are talking. Obviously if you need to have a customized one, we can have different packages for it, but for this chapter we are just first initially we are going to create a basic bottom navigation bar. Later in the next chapters we are going to cover how we can customize this, and if needed how we can create or if you can take a help of a package and create our own bottom navigation bar. So we need to have a current index. I will later show you let you know what current index is, but let me first create let me create it as 0 for now. Now one tap function, we need a one tap function. So I will keep this for later as well. So right now let's create the items, which will be full, I guess. So item will be like we have to create separate navigation bar item for this. So this is another widget where we have separate icons and everything for bottom navigation bar. So for example, let me use icon as icons dot. Obviously we do not have. Okay, so we can have this here, and we will be leveling it as we will keep the level as, let's say, home. Let me rearrange this in a proper way so that it can be understood properly. Okay, so this is one navigation bar. So this is one particular item. Items will be obviously an array. So let me repeat this bottom navigation bar item as this will keep, we need 3. So what I will do is I will create 3 bottom navigation bar item like similar to this. Okay, so one will be home, next will be, for example, profile, and we are going to change this as, so for profile we are going to need a person icon, and for settings our icon will have a settings icon. Okay, so there you go. So we have created 3 navigation bar items. Okay, so what we'll do is this scaffold widget will include a property called bottom navigation bar, which is where we will be integrating our navigation bar. So we have created our bottom navigation bar widget and we have assigned it properly. So we have here item, and inside item we have we have 3 different bottom navigation bar items. So where each bottom navigation bar item is having its own icon and a level. So when we run this app, our app obviously will throw an error. So we need to create first the pages that will show up here. So right now we have the pages created, but we do not have anything written over here. So let's go and start writing or creating the classes here. So firstly I will go with home page. I will create a home page stateless widget. And let's suppose we return a container here, a simple container with a different color so that we can recognize, like each the page will have a different color. So let me, for example, let's keep this color as green for the first one, and obviously we need to have a child property where we will be keeping our text simply, which will say the title of the screen. And give it a font size as well. So textile, font size, let's keep it as 26. So we have created our, obviously we have to add the const keyword. So here is the first class that we have created. So what we are going to do is, okay, so one thing is missing here, like we haven't created this, so we need to create this as well. Constructor, okay. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to copy this, and we are going to have a similar thing in profile page. We'll be just renaming everything. Context to profile page, and let's change the color to blue. So this will be for the profile page, and we are also going to have a settings screen. So we will be renaming it as settings page, and let me keep this as red and rename it as settings. Okay, so we have created all these files. Now what we are going to do is we are going to include this in the main page. First, let us run the application and see how it works. I believe we have an error somewhere. Okay, so here we forgot to include the main page. So what we are going to do here is we are going to include the main page here. So as you can see, it's automatically importing the main page. So if I go into the application and see, okay, so we have to remove obviously this one because it's running the old material app. So instead of this, what we are going to do is we are going to replace it with our my app, which has been created here. So if I run this, I need to reload it. Okay, so you can see we have 3 different screens here, and it's showing a beautiful material effect as well. So obviously we can customize it, but for now it looks good. We have 3 different navigation bar item. Now what we need to do is we need to connect these 3 screens according to the button which is getting pressed. So for home, we will connect it to homepage.dart. Let's I believe this is unused, so we can replace it. So for home, we are going to connect it with homepage.dart. For profile, we are going to connect it with profilepage.dart, and for settings, we are going to connect it with settingspage.dart. So let me make some I believe we haven't used the on tap property here, so we need to use the on tap property and set it dynamically. So what we need to do is we need to first manage the navigation state. To make the navigation bar interactive, we need to keep a track of the currently selected item. So like for example, if I press this, the selected number will be 0, for this it will be 1, and this will be 2, so that we can assign it dynamically to our corresponding pages. So for that we will be having, like, we need to have a counter for current, like, to, or a variable which will we add a integer variable which in the state class of main page, which will store the current page. So let me do that by adding a current page here. So what we can do is inside state we can have a variable which will say int current page, and let's keep it default as 0. Okay, now what we need to do is this variable will particularly hold the index of a selected item. We need to update it dynamically, so you will be using the on tab property of bottom navigation bar. So let's set the on tab property. Obviously current index we have set it to 0. It will be replaced by our current page, so that now obviously we are going to use the on tab functionality. Tab. Now since this will be a method, we are going to set the state here of the current page. Okay, so there you go. We have created the on tab property of bottom navigation bar, which will hold the particular selected item. Now we have also set the current index as the current page, so this should work. But again, we have to have these pages now here imported. Like we have to define a list of these pages. So if I refresh it, obviously it won't work right now. It will be same, but we need to define a list of these pages, like home page, profile page, and settings page. So what we can do is we can, before we set the variable, we can create an array of this page or a list of this page, the pages which we will be requiring here. So our first page will be home page, next will be profile page, maybe settings page. Okay, as you can see, these are already got imported automatically once I select the classes here. Now I think pages should work. Now there is one thing which is remaining, is we haven't selected which particular widget will be placed inside this body. So what we can do is we can current page, the integer which we have. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now if we run the application, let's see how it works. So you can see that since we have set our current page as 0, so obviously 0 will point towards the home page. And if I go into profile page, it will go to the profile page, and if I click on settings, it will point to the settings page. So that will be it. Like we have created successfully a bottom navigation bar and functional bottom navigation bar. So just to recap, what we have done is we have added a bottom navigation bar with three multiple items, each item being a navigation bar button item. We have implemented state management to keep a track of the selected item, and we have also updated the scaffold body according to the button item clicked. This is how we can implement a simple bottom navigation bar. Thank you for watching the video. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel Instaily Academy for great content like this. So see you in the next chapter. Thank you.